Hey, I'm Hedge, and welcome to my video on setting up a flashlight BM for Dead by Daylight in iCUE. So first, we're going to open up iCUE, and these instructions work whether you're binding it to a mouse or a keyboard, but today I'll be using a keyboard. So first, you're going to want to go into Actions, and we are going to click this little plus sign guy here. This is going to create a little guy that looks like this. And we can name that whatever we want. So it's my flashlight BM. There we go. So down here, you'll see it's automatically set to do a macro. And first things first, we're going to make sure that on the right side, its keyboard events are not checked and mouse clicks are checked. Everything, it should look exactly like this because we're recording delays as well. We're going to start to record our macro, and we're just going to press down on our right hand mouse, and then we're going to release it. And you'll see here automatically recorded my left mouse click here when I was stopping the recording, so we could just delete that with the little X button. The mistake I always make here is pressing the trash can, which deletes all events, so just make sure you don't do that. And this one's not necessary. So there we go. We have right mouse button press, pause, right mouse button release. And so if you double click on the delay in the middle, you'll see select event, delay event, and that's fine. And we're going to set it to a random delay between 10 and 15 milliseconds because we want this guy to go pretty fast. Dead by Daylight does not ban for macros. However, I just like to have a little bit of random delay between my macros just so it kind of looks more like a human inputting it regardless. Yeah, it's not completely necessary. You can have it set to a constant like 10 millisecond delay, but it's up to each individual. So the next thing we're going to do is go to advanced settings because as of right now, this macro is just a single right mouse button click and release. We're going to make the action trigger while pressed, and we're going to make the action repeat constantly. So whatever key we set it to, as long as I'm holding it down, it's going to be doing the thing. And so I have a lot of G keys for macros like this, so what I'm going to do is, because this is selected here, I'm going to click that, and it's bound that command to that macro. So now whenever I press my G key, it'll spam my right mouse, and I'll be showcasing that in a moment. So everything else looks good here. As long as you have it set to a key that isn't already bound to something, for example, like you wouldn't want it set to shift because clearly that's what you run with usually. So just any extra key that you have that you wouldn't be using for Dead by Daylight. Alright, so here we have, I've got crows actually, but if I hold down my key, my G1 key, I have a pretty quick flashlight macro going on, and you can barely tell that the delay is varied, and it barely uses up any battery. So I started here at about half battery, so yeah, it's pretty great. Great way to quickly BM, and hopefully it's been fast and easy. You can technically blind with it, but it's not worth the amount of battery power that it ends up taking to get the eventual blind. There. I hope you enjoyed my tutorial.